Hello, lovely people. I'm here with some tarot for us. Let's see what guidance the cards have for us today. Pulling once again from my Druidcraft deck and spilling cards everywhere. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay. All right, so Princess of Pentacles is our card for the day. So this card is an invitation to look at things with new eyes. The idea here, because this is a court card, is that there is some mastery. We have talents, we have skills, we have experience, right? But can we bring a new and fresh look to any of those things? Can we see new ways and new opportunities for us to go forward using what we know, perhaps in a new way? Same old is probably not going to be the way that serves us best right now, right? So it's looking at new perspectives and new ideas and new creative ways to use what we already know, the skills and talents we already have. And the why, excuse me, Seven of Cups. So this card is a reminder that looking back and looking at what's past isn't going to serve us, right? The way things were done, it's done, it's over, right? So we can't keep looking backwards for our future. That's why this new idea, the new creativity, like how can we apply what we already do and have in a new way? This is also an invitation to take the moments to pause and realize that it's not about instant gratification, right? We live in a culture where instant gratification is the thing, right? And it's kind of gotten us into a bit of a trouble. That's kind of part of why we're where we are. And this is sort of going, what can we wait on? What needs to actually mature a little bit? What needs to grow a little bit more before we pluck it out of the ground and say it's done? So the idea here is that, right, these two things together, we need to find new ways. What's done is done, and focusing on the past is going to get us nowhere. It's not going to move us forward. We are in a new world, right? Things are crumbling down, things are changing, and the thing is even though we may mourn some of that, some of those systems needed to crumble, right? And that's the only way to have that phoenix, that idea, the concept of the phoenix, of rising up and being reborn into something new, because we've had a lot of sick systems, systemic problems, and the only way for those poisons, those ills, those things that just don't work to like make way is they needed to kind of crumble down. And unfortunately, when you're talking large scale, a lot of things get kind of taken out. But the idea here is that if we start thinking creatively and we start thinking of what we individually can do and how we show up, and stop looking at the past and the way things were, because not everything was working, right? So we want to move forward and look at new things. So how do we do this? I keep getting variations of this message. It's kind of amazing. But we have Two of Cups. So this card, this context is saying flat out, we need to have relationships with ourselves that is the most loving, nurturing, compassionate, supportive as we possibly can manage. And while that begins to happen, and while we're really nurturing that relationship, because that relationship means we're grounded, we know who we are, we know our boundaries, we know what we can do, we know how to show up, right? If we focus on that, that means then we begin to cultivate that kind of community where everybody is showing up whole and full and knows what they can do, knows how they can do it, right? That's why this doesn't work, because a lot of us have been sort of complacent in our own little worlds, in our own little bubbles, and it's a happy little place for, a lot of reasons, but it keeps us in this despondent place and feeling like we're helpless, and we're not helpless. We are so not helpless. This tells us right out, we are not helpless, but we just have to start thinking and looking at things a little differently, and a little more creatively. And love yourself, love your families, love your friends, like love on everything, and love on those you don't understand, right? Because hate and disgust and all of these negative emotions, they aren't going to solve the problem. They are not going to bridge a divide. They are not going to find solutions. And that is not to say that there are some people who will never ever receive the love you send out. That is what it is, and that's not your responsibility, right? So the idea is find a way to just be love, walk love, talk love, and operate from a place of love for yourself and for others, for the planet, and pathways forward will present themselves. I hope this serves you well. I really enjoy reading these cards for you, and I know that a lot of my readings recently have felt really large, and but there's a lot going on in the world. But if you are interested in a personal reading, something that's a little more specific to you, I would love to do that for you. Simply click on the scheduling link below the video. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.